What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be doing a spoiler-free review of another Netflix horror movie, well, action horror comedy, called Day Shift, and it's starring Jamie Foxx. Let's get into it. So first up, I have seen the movie Bright, which Jamie Foxx also did, that kind of got a little wonky towards the end, but for the most part, kind of kept up its appearance of, mixing this world with the regular world, and they did like a lot of different things in it. This is a little bit more of a smaller budget than that movie Bright, and a little more fun, I think. So what is Day Shift? Well, it's starring Jamie Foxx, who plays this guy named Bud, who is working a regular pool job, or so you think, and he's doing so to try to help raise his 8-year-old daughter, who he is currently separated from the mother during this process and living elsewhere. But you find out that this pool job is just a cover for his regular job of vampire hunting. And boy does he. Literally the first 5 fucking minutes of the movie is some of the most insane shit. It reminded me of the movie Legion, when the old lady was like talking about how the pregnant woman was going to burn in hell with her baby. And then she jumped up in the corner and like started hissing and attacking everybody. Well, the beginning of this movie is kind of similar to that, and it's pretty wild, man. When I say action film, this is an action film that goes beyond, like, when people get shot with a shotgun in an action film, they don't really actually, in real life, get thrown 120 miles per hour at the wall, but it sure looks fucking cool, right? Well, this movie just says, yeah, let's just do it anyway, because I want to see some crazy shit. So you're going to see a lot of vampires being killed in some of the most glorious, over-the-top, fucking violent fucking ways. And we're not just talking all CGI here. Yeah, there's obviously some CGI in some of the more difficult segments, but they actually do use some practical effects, and they look pretty damn good. I think it's a good balance of both, and it's a good usage. Now, this is a movie that is directed by J.J. Perry. He is a stuntman, so he has a lot of knowledge, being a pretty popular stuntman in Hollywood. And he does a really good job of showing the action, knowing where to put the camera, and really packing a punch with every gun and every fist in the movie. Swords, guns, knives, daggers, stakes, everything. And when these vampires get fucking murdered, I'm telling you guys, it's some of the most brutal shit. But anyway, J.J. Perry this is his first directorial debut. And I think he did a damn good job. Now, I don't know if he got some help from somebody or not, but it seemed like he did a really good job. Now, as far as reining in some of the actors a little bit, Jamie Foxx is in this movie along with Dave Franco and a new villain woman named Natasha Lou Bordizzo, who was in Guns Akimbo. Say, Jamie's doing his normal Jamie here. There's something about Jamie, though, right now. It's like, I really like Jamie Foxx in some ways, and other ways, I don't necessarily know if I relate to him in some ways. Like, he's a badass. Like, he really is a badass in this movie. But some of his comedy is a little dry, a little too dry for me, perhaps. And I feel like it's weird, because I feel like that's where he's come from, and he should be better at it than he is here. But it's still funny. It's just he's playing more the cool guy. And then, of course, you have Dave Franco, who's sort of also playing off of some of the comedy. He's not the only one. There's jokes in this movie. Some of them are pretty well written, and some not at all. You even get a Snoop Dogg cameo in this movie, who actually plays a pretty significant character that shows up in the movie a few times, and he's not so bad. Actually, his returning point in the movie is pretty fucking epic. I really enjoyed him in this movie, actually, more than I thought I was going to. Because usually when you see these guys and they come in the movie, they're kind of just like, just get them in and just for fun. But, I think he pulled his weight a little bit more in this one than I'd seen, and it's a pretty good moment. As far as J.J. Perry and how he directs these people, I think he does a pretty good job at kind of keeping them in that balance of being funny, some of the jokes that were in this movie were just embarrassing as far as like for the characters. So I don't know. They have like a running gag about that was in the trailer about peeing pants, which is kind of funny, but not really. I don't know. It's just kind of like, oh, ooh, that's not that funny, you know, but it's also kind of like funny that they let that character be that character and that Dave Franco is just like, yeah, let's do it. Not that it really matters. I mean, it's just kind of silly and thrown in there. Latasha Liu Bordizzo is pretty good at doing the villainess. She's pretty mean and violent and fast and furious, and she does a pretty good job of kind of playing the role in here. I don't think it was the most outstanding performance that she's probably done, but she definitely holds her weight as far as like being in power. So she's got some pretty smooth talking, like villainous things to say. Jamie Foxx is, you know, he has his cool stuff that he says too. You know, all of his lines are Mr. Cool Guy stuff. There are a couple of dry jokes that he does throw in there, but you know, a lot of the action is just kind of so over the top. It's like kind of funny in moments, you know, like this is a big action-y sort of vampire movie. And I think the gore in this movie and some of the how insanely fucking powerful these shotguns are really add to a lot of the punch in this movie. And it made me enjoy the movie a lot more because they kill these vampires in some of the most weird ways. They're contorted in all these different directions. They're spinning in the air, getting chopped into pieces. And it's really pretty well directed in that regard as far as the action goes. And the acting's decent, you know, it's above par, but you know, the story, it's, you know, your typical story. You know, if you've ever seen Dave Bautista doing his Stuber with Kumail Nanjiani, who is really great in that movie. By the way, I like that movie a lot. Where he's sort of playing the straight guy, you know, like the guy that doesn't really know what he's doing. He's not the fighter, but somehow comes around to it, you know. They got this whole family hostage bullshit situation that's going on, you know. It's kind of one of those movies that's typical, but, you know, it's really fun to watch. Like, I really had a really good time watching it. Not the most original story, not the most funny, but some of the best action-packed fucking vampire stuff I've seen. And that includes, like, Blade and shit like that. Maybe not as stylish, but, I mean, the guy's a stuntman. He knows his shit. He knows where to put the fucking camera to get the biggest punch of the movie. It does kind of like happen so frequently though that by the end of the movie it kind of twists and winds down, like it becomes a little too much. So you see so much, you're kind of like, They do have a lot of really great kills up until that point, and some of the gore is just fantastic. But, you know, I'd have to give this movie probably like a 7.5. It is so leaning in a really great direction, but it doesn't do anything new or original to like really push it through the atmosphere, but is highly entertaining nonetheless. And for J.J. Perry, excellent job, man. Like, I can definitely see him doing more movies in the future. This was an interesting one to start off with, but I guarantee you, he's going to have plenty more director jobs as long as everything went great on the set. I'm sure it did. But yeah, I mean, honestly, there's a lot of things that I could say that are really great about this movie. I'm a gore hound. I don't really like vampire movies that much, but I'm kind of coming around. I've always liked action vampire stuff. So if you are into that kind of stuff, it's on a smaller scale. So there were some sets and things towards the end that kind of looked a little hokey. So the set direction could have been better. Could have had a bigger budget maybe, but they did what they could on a smaller budget than they had. I guarantee you they probably paid the talent in this movie more than the movie's actual set, you know, because this is all placed in regular world today. So go figure, it's going to be a little bit more normal, but they do have some stuff towards the end that could have looked a little bit better. Overall, if you're looking for a popcorn flick to watch that you'll have a good time watching and you won't hate, I think this is a great movie to watch, and it could be higher for some people. They may really love this movie and they may really hate it. I don't know anymore. These days it seems like everybody's so damn particular. But, you know, I don't know. I had a good time watching it. I really didn't have that many expectations for it. After seeing Bright, I was kind of like, a little hesitant on it, but it turned out to be a good one. If I had to pick between Stuber and this, I mean, that's really tough because there's so much violence in fucking this movie that kind of makes it stand out from Stuber. Go to Stuber for the jokes. Go to this movie for the violence and some of the cool parts that are in it, and you'll have a good time. That's probably the best way to look at it. But yeah, it's out on Netflix now. You can actually watch it right now as part of your subscription. It's an hour and 53 minutes, so buckle the fuck up. But anyway, let me know what you think about this movie. Have you seen it? Did you know about it? Are you going to watch it? Are you cool with Jamie? Tell me what you think in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this review, please hit the like and subscribe button and that bell notification to let you know when I have a new video. I bet you thought I wasn't going to have one today, but I did. Thanks for coming by, and as always, long live the void.